a marker and just be honest. 0 point and cheating here. You're basically hurting yourself. All right. So purchase a home worth $275,000. There's a 5% down payment. The bank offers an interest rate of 3.25 per year, that is, amortized over 15 years. Calculate the monthly payment. Now, there's a lot going on here before we come up with our payment. Let's figure out our down payment. The down payment is 5% of the house, so it's 275, right, times 0.05. That is 13,750 down payment. If you have that, you get a mark for having the 13,750 show up somewhere. Now we can do our payment. Our payment calls for the house price minus the down payment. And you multiply this by a table rate divided by 1,000. That table rate, if you go get it from your yellow tables, is 702. If you have 702, I will give you a mark for that. Just to have the 702 gets you a mark. When you subtract these two, you get 261, 250 times 702 over 1,000. You multiply these two, you get 1,833 and 98 cents. Another mark for your final answer, which means you gotta clean up this initial setup, right? So 3 marks. 261, 250 represents the mortgage, how much you've basically borrowed from the bank. Calculate the total amount paid to the bank. Total paid to the bank, it's simply payment times 12 times years. Right, so we know that our payment is this. We go times 12 times 15 years, and that gives us 330,116 and 40 cents. Okay, so that's all they wanted here is the total paid back to them. So remember, we borrowed 261, we're giving them back 330. Right? How much was paid in interest? It's basically the total interest. I'm just going to take this and I'm going to subtract 261, 250 from it. Okay, so I'm subtracting these two values here, the big numbers. And you're going to get 68,866 and 40 cents. That's a 1 marker as well. Name 2 one-time expenses. You can talk about land transfer tax and anything else that happens once. I'm just going to say down payment. You get 1 mark for each. So land transfer tax, you should have all known. The down payment, I mean, it was in the question. That is a one-time expense. We can talk about later, we'll talk about more. You could talk about moving fees, lawyer fees, a bunch of other things that come along with buying a house. So 1 mark for each. Next, we've got our land transfer tax, and real quick, I'm just gonna say, you know, like this is what these are as a decimal. Okay, those are the decimals, converting the percentage to decimals. Okay, so in this case, it's 175. I subtract 30,000, and I know I'm not paying anything on it. I'm left with 145. The next amount is 60,000. I pay full, 0.005 on it, so that's $300 that I would pay on that. If you subtract, you end up with 85,000. Take away the next bracket, which is 60 again. There you pay full the 1%, which is $600. You're left with 25,000. You can't subtract anymore So we stop subtracting, but we still use that percentage for that amount that we're in that bracket for. So 25,000 times 0.015 is $375. Okay, so here's the breakdown. Half for the 300, half for the 600, half for the 375, and another half for actually adding everything up. So these three added up gives you 1,275. Half a mark for that. So that's where the 2 marks come from. So 2, 4, 6, and 3, that's 9. So this page is worth 9 marks. Back side. Okay. Nitish bought a home valued at $215,000, located in area 4, comprehensive $200 deductible. Oh, that one. That means I'm going to have to go times 1.10, right? I hope you start reading them that way. And so insurance, we are maxing out. It's home insurance. We're maxing out, so we're going to go 215 minus 200,000. That's the max. So it's $15,000 over in this case. Okay, so we get that table rate, and we are in area 4, comprehensive. That gets us to 1,063. Okay, so that gets you a mark. Just getting that number gets you a mark. I want to, this is my last, maybe my last time that I'm going to talk about it. You paying $1,063 covers you up to $200,000 already. But you need extra. So that's why you need to add, right, $15,000 worth of insurance that you need to purchase. And that rate is $519. Right, you get that from your table, times 1.10. So I'll give you a mark for setting this all up here, for having that done properly. And I will give you a mark for showing me that, hey, I need to multiply this by 1.10 to account for a $200 deductible. Because if you don't do it, it's by default a $500 deductible. Okay. So let's clean this up. 1063 plus, you do this separately, that's 7785, right? Remember, the square brackets tell you do this first. Get this down to one number. And so that's 114085 times 1.10. And so your total is 1,254.94. Another mark for actually crunching numbers and getting that final answer. Is that what we're getting? Some of us? Some of us got that? Oh my goodness, another land transfer tax. When is this going to stop, right? I hear you. Until you are so good at it that, I mean, don't be too fast, because then you'll make a mistake for doing it too fast. But anyways, 30,000. We take away 60,000. We pay 300 on that. Sorry. 300. That gets us to 205. I can take away the next 60,000 here. I pay 1% on that. That's $600. That gets me to 145. I can subtract the next bracket, which is 50,000. I pay 1.5% on that. That's 750. You're left with 95,000. And once you've done the 4 subtractions, you can't go further. You're just going to tax everything a flat 2% rate. Okay, so 95,000 times 2 is $1,900. So that's when it starts getting expensive, when you go past the 200,000 mark. So if you add all of this up, you get a land transfer tax of $3,550. Marks, I'll say half, 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 and half. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 4 times half is just 2, right? So we'll make the final answer 1. The fact that you're adding everything up is 1. Okay, how can you save on heating? And you can talk about upgrading, like that's the key word there. Upgrade insulation. You can upgrade furnace, right? Furnace to high efficiency. Oops, you can't see that, right? You can talk about upgrading your windows to high efficiency or Energy Star approved. You can talk about using space heaters instead of, right, heating up the entire home. You can talk about installing a thermostat, like a smart thermostat or a programmable thermostat. All of that counts. So that gets you 1 mark for that. Water, install aerators. You can upgrade toilets to WaterSense approved. Or you can talk about, if you said dual flush toilets or toilets that use less water, you can talk about faucets or shower heads that use less water. That's fine. Just be specific. Don't just say turn off the water tap or take shorter showers. That's something that is not going to get you the mark. Okay, sure, that's a good idea, but they want something that's automated. Use timers to water your lawn. You can also talk about appliances, like WaterSense appliances. WaterSense appliances. So what are appliances? Like a washer, washing machine, right? Anything that uses water, have that as well. So that's for water, you get a mark. Electricity, you can just talk about use timers. Use timers, upgrade, there's that word again, upgrade light bulbs to LED. You can say install motion sensing switches and any appliances, upgrade appliances to energy efficient, also high efficiency or Energy Star approved. Anything like that specifically will get you the mark there. So we've got 4 for the insurance, 3 for land transfer tax, that's 7, and another 3, that's 10. So the back side is worth 10, the front was worth 9, so total is 19. Total is 19.